Remember, remember the 5th of November. Of course, this movie didn't come out in November, but it came out in March 2006. And anyways, this is Matt Davis, the movie lover, and today I'm going to review V for Vendetta. Finally, got around to watching this movie again. Really wanted to get it on Blu-ray. Got it at FYE when I went. Here's the thing, though. I had to go back to FYE yesterday before I got back home, mainly because, mainly I wanted to watch it again 45 minutes into the movie, and this just starts skipping, which really pisses me off. And so I had to get another copy, and I like this copy than my last copy, mainly because it's a Blu-ray and DVD, and it contains digital code. I'm not going to show it, but the good thing is it hasn't expired yet, so that's a really good thing. That's really useful. So pretty much, yeah, V for Vendetta is based off the graphic novel by Alan Moore. V for Vendetta takes place in an alternate vision, Britain, in which a corrupt and abusive uh, government has risen to complete power. During a threatening run-in with the secret police, an unassuming young woman named Evie, played by Natalie Portman, is rescued by a man in a mask named V. Just V. I think it might stand for Vendetta because that's the title of the movie, V for Vendetta. But you'll basically see the V logo all the time, just like Zorro. So basically, yeah, he's a caped figured. He he is a caped figure, both articulate and skilled in combat. V embodies the principles of rebellion from an authoritarian state. Donning a mask of vilified would-be terrorist British history, Guy Fawkes. Guy Fawkes. Okay, anyways, and leads a revolution sparked by assassination and destruction. Evie becomes his unlikely ally, new aware of the cruelty of her own society and her role in it. And mainly, this film did get 73%, but the people who gave it rotten splats on Rotten Tomatoes, some people hate this movie because they say, oh, it promotes terrorism, but they're completely missing the point of that. It isn't just some movie. Yes, it does involve terrorists, but that's not the thing. It doesn't involve terrorism. This is actually a very smart film. You see, don't go into this movie thinking it's going to be an action-packed slasher comic book movie. Because here's the thing: Hugo Weaving's character V is not the main star of the movie. Natalie Portman is. Yeah, I know it's hard to believe. It's a graphic novel based movie, but here's the thing: it's it's not as bloody as you would suspect. I mean, it does have blood in it, but that's not really the point. It's not more. It's more a- than just your action superhero movie. Here's the thing: we don't actually know. I mean, it does feel like on the cover, it does feel like that V is the villain, but he's actually not. He's not the villain of the story. All right, he's the anti-hero of the story, and mainly, he's actually out there to protect Natalie Portman's character Evie, and mainly, there is a lot more to it than expected. V, um, yeah, is actually the second main character. You see, Natalie Portman has been through a lot in the past, and mainly going into this film again, it definitely feels like it's one of her best roles in a really long time. You see, it definitely shows a lot more than what expected, and it's actually more of a drama than action, and it's kind of hard to believe. This is actually one of DC's best movies. After that, 2 years later, The Dark Knight came along, and that feels more like a drama than an action film as well. That's why that movie's so good. You see, V for Vendetta is a very stylized movie, too. I mean, the detail and the backgrounds, and here's the thing. V never takes his mask off. I mean, during a flashback, we do see his face, but here's the thing. Once he pretty much has two lives, and then he's well, no, he does have one life, and pretty much near. This is a spoiler. Near the end of the movie, he does get shot a dozen times, but he's able to fight one last time. You know, that's one thing that kind of confused me a little bit, but I'm not sure if it's just me, but yeah. You see, what Natalie Portman does get captured, and she gets her hair shaved off, and she thought V mentions that it was him who did all that, thinking that Evie thinks that he's the bad guy, but it turns out it's not actually true. Well, he's not the bad guy, all right. You see, we never see him take off his mask ever. Not even near the end of the film. You see, it's not a cliche, where Natalie Portman just takes off his mask and accepts him for who he is and then loves him. Yeah, they've done that dozens of times, but you see, that's what I liked about this movie. It was actually more than what you expected. It's like a dark a graphic novel version of Zorro. You see, and it definitely does entertain, believe it or not. When you're actually watching the movie, it does entertain. There is actually this funny part where they're doing a show on TV and people are watching, where where some guy dresses as V, and then, the Benny Hill music plays, and that was actually kind of funny. But no, this is no laughing business, though, no. But it definitely does do a lot more than just that. It's a visually stunning movie with much more than, terrorism and stuff like that. Kind of hard to explain and kind of hard to believe. But when you do watch the movie, you can understand it perfectly. And guys, V for Vendetta is one of DC's best movies, and it's definitely not as good as The Dark Knight or Watchmen, but it certainly is a really entertaining movie. I wish DC could be like this. I mean, I really wish DC can make great movies. I think their last great movie was The Dark Knight Rises. After that, Man of Steel I thought was good, but not great. I thought Batman vs Superman I thought was okay one time, but then I just hated that movie now. Suicide Squad is good, but I kind of like Man of Steel a little bit better. I wish they could have took Suicide Squad to a better note. I mean, it's entertaining, but seriously, I really hope Wonder Woman is good and gets back on track. But none of those films can beat this or any of other um, DC's. It definitely cannot beat. They definitely can't beat the Dark Knight trilogy as well. But guys, time for my overall score. I'm gonna give the movie 4.5 out of 5. It's definitely worth watching. If you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend it. So that is it for this video, and I will see you guys later. Word out.